All right, thank you very much, Ernie. And Czar, with both teams coming off what has to be considered their biggest game in many years, both with emotional victories in Game 7 this past Sunday. Now, 1 day of rest. Is there time to recover? And in this scenario, who would have the advantage?
I'm not sure there's an advantage for either team, but one thing is for sure, going back just 48 hours ago, these two teams were in the complete emotional cycle. They had both hoped to close out their opponents much earlier in this series, but it took until Sunday afternoon, game number 7, before they could finally get it done. And when you experience those types of things, it drains the team, it drains the players. How quickly they come out tonight and recover, I'll be interested to see. One player in particular who had a very unusual, unexpected game number 7 was Allen Iverson. You might think that in game number 7, Iverson would need 40 or 50 points to get the 76ers to move on. Well, on 8 for 27 shooting, he scored just 21 points, but he accounted really for 53 of them by coming up with 16 assists. And we see Aaron McKee, Jermaine Jones, and Eric Snow combined for a total of 51 points on 19 of 36 shooting. So when Iverson saw the double teams coming, he got his teammates involved, and they produced.
All right, Czar, the previous series, the Bucks were down 3 games to 2. They were not getting the collective production from the big three, big dog Glenn Robinson, Ray Allen, Sam Cassell. That is until game 6 and 7.
Well, too many times in the series versus Charlotte, it was just the big one or the big two. The big three never could get on the same page. Suddenly they face a 3-2 deficit. They know that they need all 3 players to step up if they're going to move on. That's exactly what they did. They combined for an average of almost 80 points in those final 2 games. During the regular season, those 3 combined for 62 points per game. They wound up shooting 53% from the floor and 95% from the foul line. The franchise has counted on these big 3 the entire season. They did it in game 6 and 7. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
All right, I know the Czar has a lot of preparation work. We have, what, a half hour to go?
Yes, very close.
To get it done?
Yes.
All right. About 30 minutes from now, we'll be back with game 1 of this best of 7. Right here, let's send it back to Ernie, Charles, and Kenny.
Certainly do not want to deprive the Czar of his preparation time. Where does Mike Fratello live?
He has the best tan anybody I've ever seen in my life.
The Bucks and the Sixers playing game 2 of this series, by the way, on Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time.
Does he live in Portland? No Sunday. I don't know.
Perhaps by then we'll have an answer to Mike.
Thanks a lot, Marvel. This is the second game that Sam Cassell has had to wear that flak jacket because of those bruised ribs. He said that he feels more comfortable wearing it, but the ribs are still sore. But he says there are greater concerns tonight, and that's how to slow down Allen Iverson. What Milwaukee does not want to see is a 20-point game and 16 assists. That would mean that Allen was very successful in getting his teammates involved. What he'd rather see is 30-plus points and only 1 or 2 assists. That would mean the Bucks' defense was a whole lot better shutting everybody else down. Now let's go over to the Mac Daddy on the sidelines, Craig Sager.
Well, thank you. Allen Iverson is banged and bruised, black and blue. The latest injury, a bruised buttocks. This is what he's wearing for support tonight. Orthogel padding. This will disperse the energy from any blow he receives to his hip or his buttocks. Don't forget about the chronic bursitis. He's wearing this tubular elastic bandage. And he also has a sprained left hip and a sprained left thumb. As for Dikembe Mutombo, earlier we said he had a broken finger. That was all wrong. He has back pain. He is wearing back plaster to provide warmth and support. That's the Mass Unit report. Back to Mike and Marv.
All right, thank you, Dr. Sager. And the officials, Joe Crawford, Terry Durham, Joe Forte, Urban Johnson, and Dikembe Mutombo getting game 1 of this Eastern Conference Final Series underway. The Sixers making their first appearance in the conference final since back in 1985. The Bucks' last appearance in 1986. Iverson, and deflected out by Milwaukee.
You see Iverson being defended by Ray Allen. Now, concern here, Ray Allen's size could distort Iverson's shot. On the other end of the floor, there's a concern that Iverson puts fouls on people, and quickly Ray Allen has to be smart defensively, take the help from his teammates.
Aaron McKee opens it up. So Allen Iverson, who had a playoff career high 16 assists on Sunday in the wrapper against Toronto, picks up an assist right at the start. Sixers with the first bucket. Here's Robinson. Mutombo on the box out. Scott Williams able to strip him. Scott Williams ties the game at 2. You hear the boos for Scott Williams, a one-time Philadelphia 76er. And he went over to Milwaukee in the deal involving Jim Thomas, Tyrone Hill, Gerald Honeycutt. Scott did not fare well here in a Philadelphia uniform, although he was hard hit by injuries at the time. Here's Allen with the runner, and the Bucks lead 4-2.
This is the kind of pace that Milwaukee would like to play. George Karl said, if we can get an 85-shot game, I like it. He'd rather not play against Philadelphia's set half-court defense.
Mutombo getting position on Johnson. Kempe able to get down deep and took advantage. And Cassell is fouled, blocked out by McKee. Czar George Karl said that Dikembe Mutombo just does not affect us because he stays inside, which works to Milwaukee's advantage. They do not have an inside game. They are primarily a jump shooting ball club.
This is one of the reasons why they were so successful against the Western Conference team, the Lakers, San Antonio. Those big men don't bother three-point shooters.
Ray Allen with a facial. And the Bucks lead at 6-4.
Reminiscent of a couple of the dunks that Ray Allen had during the Orlando series, where he was finishing plays off dunking on top of people.
2 minutes have gone by in this first quarter. Mutombo. Kempe in the game plan early against Urban Johnson. Cassell, Sam Cassell, who, as Craig mentioned, has been bothered by the bruised ribs. Had big games in games number 6 and 7 of the series against Charlotte after struggling early on. With Tyrone Hill, and he is turned back. Last touch by the Bucks.
Good job of rotating along the baseline by Urban Johnson. He's the guy who's supposed to protect the basket. Hill takes the lob over the top. He beats the 6'10 Williams, but then encounters Urban Johnson.
Iverson from deep. Kept alive by Jones. Iverson. And a foul. Actually, Allen had nowhere to go, and then try to kick it out. He was hit by Scott Williams.
And I asked George Karl, how can Philadelphia beat you? And he listed it in this order. Iverson first, going off for a big game. Us committing too many turnovers because they score off turnovers against us. And then offensive rebounds. Those are his areas of concern.
This is Jones. Jermaine Jones again. Mutombo. Oh, Dikembe Mutombo able to keep it alive.
There's one of those 3 ways. Keep giving the 76ers second and third shot opportunities. They're eventually going to find a way to score or get fouled.
Jermaine Jones defending on Big Dog Robinson. Here's Ray Allen for Urban Johnson. Crowd looking for a traveling violation, and the Bucks now lead it by the score of 10-6. We'd like to welcome those of you watching in Canada on TSN. 8.5 remaining in this first quarter. Milwaukee has opened up by hitting 5 of its first 6 shots. Beautiful backdoor pass. Iverson can't hit on the reverse. And back comes Williams. Scott Williams is fouled, reaching on Jones. Scott Williams barking out instructions as he's handling the ball on the break.
He's barking at Sam Cassell. Cassell has George Karl laughing because Cassell is barking back. Scott, give me the basketball. Let me run the show as the point guard. You fill the center lane. I'll find you.
Foul on Iverson. That is his first. During the regular season, these two clubs split 2 apiece. Robinson, each team winning a game on the other club's home court. Crowd getting impatient with the Bucks jumping in front here at the start. 12-6. Iverson has missed his first 4 shots. Iverson had nowhere to go. Here's McKee. Good defense by the Bucks. Shot clock at 3. Iverson with 1 on the 24. Mutombo with another rebound. McKee's pass is rejected from Cassell, and last touch by McKee.
You see both teams having a hard time early on here. And remember we mentioned in the open about the energy level of these two teams, having clinched Game 7 about 48 hours ago, the emotional high, you have to come right back down and then get yourself ready for this game, the beginning of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Tip missed by Johnson. Alive by Robinson. Backing his way on Iverson, and a foul is called. It's on Tyrone Hill.
You know, the 76ers, because of the injuries to their front court people, Matt Geiger will play tonight. Larry Brown very concerned that they do not get fouls on their 4 and 5 men, their power forward and center. That's why last game, because of early foul problems, he took Jermaine Jones, had to play him at the 4 position, the power forward spot a lot of minutes.
Scott Williams shooting over Tyrone Hill. And Jermaine Jones on the rebound. Here's Hill. A combo once again going at Johnson. Tried the sweeping hook and he was hacked.
You can see part of the thinking here that they can get fouls on Johnson and put him on the bench. Obviously, it's a big plus for the 76ers. So Mutombo, each time he's worked very hard to come up with an offensive rebound, has kept it in his hands and tries to force the action himself.
76ers, 3 of 14 from the field. Kemby Mutombo is 73% free throw shooter. Philadelphia 76ers went 56 and 26 during the regular season, #1 seed in the East. They fell off the last couple of months of the season. They were injury hit at that point, only 8 of the last 18. Also adjusting to the Kemby Mutombo and he adjusting to his new club. And then in the first round, the Sixers eliminated the Pacers. Cup series, though, 3 games to 1 after they had knocked out Philadelphia the previous 2 years. And then Philadelphia beating Toronto in the 7-game series, capped off by the victory here on Sunday.
There were a number of injuries that took place for the 76ers down that back third of the season. They also lost their coach for a couple games. When Larry Brown wasn't feeling well, had to miss a couple games of that West Coast trip. Iverson missed the entire West Coast trip.
Here's McKee from downtown. Aaron McKee hits the 3. And the Sixers now trail 12-10. Cassell, nice move. Hill with the rebound. Iverson with a change of direction finds McKee. Yes. Consecutive 3 for Aaron McKee, and the 76ers lead by 1.
Remember, Mark, Philadelphia during the regular season, 26th in the NBA in three-point shooting, right at the bottom of the NBA in three-point shots made.
Robinson. Good job by Johnson, but lost the grip. He thought he was fouled. Sixers in the midst of a 7-0 run. Iverson, McKee couldn't save it. McKee surprised by that pass, and a timeout is called by the Sixers. 5:07 remaining in the first. It's Philadelphia by 1. Coming off a subpar shooting ball game, although he had the 16 assists on Sunday. Cassell fires the 3. Iverson on the open floor. Over Cassell. Iverson 0 for 6.
With the change in the lineup, with Eric Snow now coming off the bench instead of starting, you have Iverson as the foul takes place on Sam Cassell. You must stay down on those little up fakes by Cassell so you don't commit unnecessary fouls. I was saying the problem is that Iverson basically is the point guard. When he's pushing and penetrating, then he has to find the open man to kick out. Not his strength. His strength is scoring.
McKee called for a second foul, replaced by Snow, and Mike Geiger receiving mixed reaction as he checks in. He's been out with that tear of the right quadricep, which has begun to mend and apparently is improving. A lot of controversy here in Philadelphia in terms of Matt Geiger being sidelined.
It's one of those situations, Mark, it's very hard to comment on because from his teammate's standpoint, you can see if a guy's ankle is broken, foot's broken like George Lynch, or there's some type of severe injury. But when it's one of these deep thigh contusions, that type of thing, you expect guys to kind of lace him up and show up out there. This is that time of year where we're all trying to survive. That's where the controversy comes from.
And Ray Allen is called for the foul. That's his first. Always difficult to measure threshold of pain. You've been through it as a coach.
I'm through it every time we do a broadcast.
Very good. A little setup for you.
Okay, thank you.
3:26 remaining in the first quarter. Game is tied at 13. Geiger trying to set the pick. Iverson. Rejected by Johnson. Irvin Johnson with the block shot. Here's Tim Thomas, the one-time Sixer. Allen with the rebound. Looks like Mutombo got a piece of it. And last touch by the 76ers.
This is what Iverson's going to face. One big man, the 6'10 Thomas. He goes around him, and the second big man waiting for him, Irvin Johnson. He will face that defense the entire night. That's the game plan of Milwaukee, to always have that second defender there waiting for Iverson.
Allen Iverson now 0 for 7 from the field. How about the Bucks? They come out, hit 6 of the first 7. They've missed their last 11 shots and a foul on Snow.
And you've seen the 76ers commit some fouls just because they're too up, they're too hyper, over anxious. Those all add up, build up, and you wind up putting an excellent free throw shooting team, the Milwaukee Bucks, on the foul line way too soon in the bonus.
Yes, the 76ers over the foul limit. Sam Cassell at the line. A reminder, Thursday night here on TNT, it's the Bucks and the Sixers, game 2 of this Eastern Conference Final, and coverage begins 8 o'clock Eastern Time with the pregame show from First Union Center. The entire cast on hand, moving Studio A from Atlanta right here on site. Just under 3 to go in the first quarter. Snow for Jones, beautifully done. Eric Snow throwing the lob to a cutting Jermaine Jones.
Trademark of a Larry Brown team. They come out of timeouts and they run something special. Backdoors, lob passes, back picks. They try and catch the defense sleeping.
Sam Cassell changing to the left hand as he's able to beat his man along the baseline, and the Bucks now lead 17-15. 7 points for Cassell. Now Cassell defending on Snow. Nice pass again. Iverson cannot convert.
Actually, the pass was late. Iverson was open about a second earlier than that. By the time he caught it, he was worried that the defense had caught up.
Thomas rejected by Mutombo. Here comes Iverson and a foul. But to Dikembe Mutombo with an emphatic rejection. Timeout is called by the Bucks. 2:08 remaining in this first quarter. Milwaukee up by 2.
To say zone, that just slipped out. What he meant to say is that next big man, and we just saw it in that replay a few moments ago. Iverson goes past Tim Thomas, but then he encounters Irvin Johnson. That's that next big man that's there waiting to help out on Iverson.
Here's Jones for 3. Lindsey Hunter has checked in for the first time. Did not shoot well in the previous series against the Charlotte Hornets. Hunter coming on for Cassell. Allen. Good look for Ray Allen, who now has 6 points. And the Bucks lead 19-15.
Well, you mentioned Hunter shooting the ball, Marvin. The 11 playoffs games, he's just shooting 21% from the floor, Lindsey Hunter. They count on him to give him some offense on that second unit, particularly from the three-point line.
Snow leading Mutombo. What a start for Dikembe Mutombo. 7 points, 6 rebounds, 3 block shots, perhaps reacting to the statement made by George Karl, which did appear in all the papers here in Philadelphia, that Dikembe just does not affect us at all.
Well, I think George Karl meant it from the standpoint that we're not going to go inside and use a lot of post-up players against him. We try and beat teams from the perimeter rather than the inside.
Jones. Jermaine Jones ties it. at 19. Final minute of the first quarter. Lindsey Hunter working on Eric Snow. Here's Allen. Down to 20 seconds in the quarter. Eric Snow checking with Larry Brown. They'll hold for a final shot of this first quarter, and they're on their feet at First Union Center. Final second. Geiger, played by Thomas. The ball in the hands of Iverson, trying to get it back. The Geiger was deflected by the Bucks, so the Sixers have 4 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Jason Caffey now will check in for Glenn Robinson. Rodney Buford will come on for Dikembe Mutombo.
You see Larry Brown trying to get shooters on the floor for this last possession with 4 seconds remaining.
Aaron McKee also checks in. He'll throw it. Iverson. That ball was deflected. Allen Iverson goes 0 for the quarter. 0 for 9 from the field.
Well, Iverson will eventually find out as this game goes along. He may feel like he's beating the first defender, but it's the next person stepping up in the rotation that's been affecting his shots.
1 quarter complete in welcome back to the city of brotherly love. Milwaukee only for 23 from the field. In the first quarter, Philadelphia just 8 for 26. And Allen Iverson 0 for 9 in the opening quarter.
Mark, for the playoffs thus far, he's averaging just over 28 shots per game. He was 8 for 27 in game number 7. Thus far now, a series of jump shots and layups on the inside that are either blocked or challenged by the big people have forced Iverson to not score a basket yet. At this rate, he's going to wind up with 36 field goal attempts tonight.
And the Bucks, who opened up the first 4 minutes, hitting 6 of their first 7. Since then, 2 for 16 from the field.
You may see Allen moving back in the direction of that 16 assist game he had the last one against Toronto.
Allen working on Buford. Thomas, Tim Thomas from downtown. Tim Thomas, one-time Philadelphia 76er, played his college ball at Villanova. Originally a first-round pick of the Nets and then traded for the Sixers. Well, Iverson with his first field goal. The Bucks now lead 22-21.
They did a little guard pick and roll that time. They forced Milwaukee to switch, and you had Iverson shooting at 6 feet tall over 6'1" Lindsey Hunter, so not as tough as shooting over Ray Allen.
Johnson. And Snow pushes it down. Snow and Iverson in the backcourt. Hill, Geiger, Buford up front. Iverson for 3. Geiger with the save. And Matt Geiger hears the cheers from this capacity crowd.
Remember, Philadelphia had 6 offensive rebounds in that first quarter, Mark, giving themselves a chance to get second shot opportunities.
Hill keeps it alive. Another second chance opportunity. 8 offensive rebounds for the 76ers. Iverson met by Johnson. Iverson. Allen Iverson continues to have his problems. 1 for 12 from the field. Now Johnson will sit down. Scott Williams is back, and once again here's the boos.
You know, when a player faces a number of big bodies running at him, jumping, challenging shots, the tendency is you may want to just resort to pulling up and shooting jump shots, and that's what's happened to Allen Iverson thus far. After getting a couple blocks and chains, he's become a jump shooter now.
Geiger on the rebound. So the Sixers in possession, down by 1. 2 minutes gone by in the second. Geiger squaring up. Oh, Matt Geiger. A presence here in his first half. That was intended for Caffey. The ball back to the 76ers. Aaron McKee will come back on, replacing Eric Snow.
And you see Milwaukee trying to up the tempo of the game. As soon as the basket was scored, they take it in, they look down the floor immediately. They tried to throw the long pitch ahead pass, resulting turnover. One of the things that George Karl wants to keep down. He wants him to run, he wants to force the action, but he wants to keep possessions of the basketball.
Midway through the series against Charlotte, the Bucks did have problems committing turnovers. Iverson, Allen Iverson. Only a second field goal. But Larry Brown is hoping that gets him going off the steal. The ball back to the hands of Iverson. Now being guarded by Hunter. Geiger comes over to set the pick. Williams trying to draw the foul. Here's Geiger. Rebounded by Thomas. Ray Allen for 3. 9 points for Allen. Once again showing us that lightning quick release.
Well, that's where Milwaukee is so deadly. They come back just as quick, and then they spot up deep behind the three-point line, and your defense in transition has a tough time getting to them. First you have mismatches, then you have big people trailing trying to run out at Ray Allen.
And a foul is called on the Bucks. It's on Allen. That's his second. Timeout taken. 8:54 remaining. First half.
Supposed to be the guy to push out to Ray Allen. You lose a step, you lose a shot. 3 for Ray Allen.
And Ray Allen heating up. He now has 9 points, 4 of 7 from the field. The game tied at 25. Dikembe Mutombo is back on. Iverson trying to shoot his way back. He missed his first 11 shots. He's now 3 for 14. And the Sixers are up by 2. Sam Cassell checks back in. Hunter. The tip by Williams. Iverson. Cassell is back. Here's the lob. Gilford not able to handle it. Slightly off the mark.
One of the problems when Iverson has the ball and is running the show, sometimes he gets a little excited and wants to make that spectacular play rather than the solid play.
All right, here comes Iverson off the steal. Hunter with the block. And McKee able to follow up. Lindsey Hunter on the rejection of Allen Iverson. 76ers lead 29-25. 4 minutes gone by in the second. Cassell. Sam Cassell playing with the flak jacket, playing despite the bruised ribs, has opened up with 9 points here in the first half.
You have the 2 point guards on the floor from Milwaukee. Cassell now moves into the role of 2 guards, shooting guard, scoring guard.
Tyrone Hill with the bucket. Yes, and it counts.
Scott Williams can't believe that it's called a block rather than a charge, but I think you'll see that Scott Williams does not get his feet above the restricted area down low. Hill on the cut encounters Scott Williams. Williams heels back on the broken line. Therefore, the block is called.
Tyrone Hill was acquired from Milwaukee in that deal for Tim Thomas. Larry Brown looking for a more experienced player. Tyrone made it clear that he was not happy in Milwaukee, according to George Karl, so they dealt him. Scott Williams, as it turns out, was really a salary cap throw-in. He's had a rebirth with the Bucks. Traveling violation on Cassell. Try to put the brakes on, could not.
But back when Scott Williams was in Philadelphia and he had a number of injuries, that's what George Karl said. We got him healthy. That was the big thing, where he could come back and play and give us 20 to 24 minutes a night. But in Philly, his first year, he averaged 6.5 points, 6.5 rebounds. His second year, he drops down to 3 points, 3 rebounds. Goes up again to 6 and 6 in his third year, and then back down to 4 and 3 in his fourth year. So that's why the 76ers fans are very disappointed in him.
Offensive foul is off, providing the entire stat page on Scott Williams. Let's go back to his high school career.
His whole career. Now I'm going to go back to Chicago before that.
Unbelievable.
Scott said he felt a little cheated on the airtime he was getting.
Yes, you're very kind. Sixers up 31-27. 5 minutes gone by in the second. Jermaine Jones getting set to check back in. Big dog Robinson trying to put a move on. Scott Williams. Air ball. putting moves on Williams. Scott Williams waiting for the whistle. He thought that'd be a foul.
Yeah, he stopped playing, and Mutombo kept playing. As a result, the dunk for Dikembe.
And Dikembe Mutombo has come out strong in this first half in all phases of the game. Cassell draws the foul.
Scott Williams just doesn't quite have position to take the charge here. Mutombo goes lateral. Williams stands in that one spot. He allows Dikembe to turn the corner. Dikembe makes sure that he's going to finish with authority. Right there, Williams wants the call. Dikembe wants it too.
Mutombo now 9 points, 7 rebounds, 3 blocked shots. 14-4 run by the 76ers. Sam Cassell brings the Bucks within 5. A reminder, Friday night on NBC, it will be the San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Coverage starting 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Lakers now up 2-0, taking 2 out of 2 at the Alamo Dome. 6:20 remaining in the first half here in Philadelphia. Iverson finding Jermaine Jones. And last touch by Tyrone Hill. Jermaine Jones working his way into the lineup during the course of the regular season. Now he started. McKee with the steal. Aaron McKee. And the crowd reacting to the stuff by McKee, who now has 12, and the Sixers have a 6-point lead, leading to a Milwaukee timeout.
Well, you can see Philadelphia understands that if they're going to have a chance to win, there just aren't enough scorers on Philadelphia's team to match the Bucks. They've got to find other way of getting points. Tough defense, produce steals, get easy scores.
Reinventing the passion for driving.
Back in Philadelphia, let's take a look at Wimbledon as the drama returns this June.
The drama of Wimbledon returns to TNT. Don't miss 2 weeks of daytime coverage of the best tennis in the world beginning June 25th.
As are my Wimbledon cohort, Jim Curry, who you met when we were doing a telecast.
He does a fantastic job.
In Orlando.
He's excellent.
Was saying, why can't the Czar come to Wimbledon as a sideline reporter?
Who would I interview?
There's loads of possibilities. That's something for a sideline reporter to figure out. Jones trying to save it. Last touch by Jones, landing on the Milwaukee bench. And here's it from the crowd. I think Jim, just after spending time with you, socially just wanted you kind of hanging around.
He actually asked me if I would like to be a member of his group.
His group?
Yeah.
Rock oh, yes, rock and roll on the side. I see. 5.5 remaining in the first half, and the Sixers with a 35-29 lead. Glenn Robinson will throw in. He's 1 for 7 from the field. Robinson with Johnson and Caffey up front. Cassell and Allen in the backcourt. Allen, Ray Allen able to extend over Allen Iverson. He now has 11 points.
Because he has that size advantage and the ability to really elevate, he knows that he can stop short of Mutombo. Backdoor by Iverson for the layup. Remember, all for timeouts, Philadelphia. Backdoors, back pick lob.
And the Bucks right back, but a quick shot by Cassell. Iverson beating Cassell. Yes. So Allen Iverson, after the slow start, has come on. 10 points, all 10 here in the second quarter. 0 for 9 from the field. He's hit 5 of his last 8. Good look from Allen. Johnson draws the foul.
go back and take a look at Allen Iverson running the back door, getting the easy score for the 76ers. Iverson moves down into the corner area. Then you'll see him change direction. That's all planned. They know to look for the change of direction coming off the timeouts because Larry Brown preaches that. They practiced it this morning in the shoot-around.
Foul on Mutombo. See the turn by Iverson. Irvin Johnson has had an excellent series against the Charlotte Hornets. Finished up with 11 points, 4 block shots Sunday. Milwaukee had 61 block shots. Playoff franchise record, and Johnson with 13. Here's Snow.
Eric Snow out here with the assistant coaches prior to the game. Probably took 60 of those shots in that spot.
Oh, off glass. Not by intention. Ray Allen with a 3. Sahina has 14 points. And the Sixers lead 41-35. Mutombo called for the travel.
Dikembe trying to turn and face up, so the defensive player has to take his hands off him, moves his pivot foot, call for the travel.
Cassell passing on the 3. Thomas tried to jam it. They get the new 24. Good hands by Snow. Allen. Robinson thought the shot clock was running down. And it will be Sixer ball.
George Karl kind of looking out at his team as if to say, what kind of shots are we taking right now? Slow down, relax, get high percentage shots. We're one of the better shooting teams in the NBA when we get good shots.
Well, Robinson is now 1 of 8 from the field. Iverson for 3. Yes! What a move by Allen Iverson. Here's Allen ahead of the field. Rebound to Mutombo. Allen was looking for contact, and now contact made by Sam Cassell. Call for the foul.
And Milwaukee saw Allen Iverson land on the floor after he hit the jump shot. They got it right back in. His man took off Ray Allen. Looked like he had a sure layup. He winds up missing the wide open layup.
We are back in Philadelphia, and the Sixers lead the Bucks 44-35 with 2:54 remaining in the first half. And there they are. So that is what is called a production meeting. Coming up on the AT&T halftime report, you see they're very carefully constructing the show. Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley with first half analysis from our game and a report from the Western Conference Finals.
Looks like Kenny's checking messages or late stock tips that are coming up after our trading.
You can see the intense look on the faces of all. Mutombo feeling for Johnson. Very offensive-minded in this first half. Dikembe Mutombo has 9 points.
Big thing was that Johnson has 2 personal fouls. They try to come out and put the third one on him right there at the timeout.
We talked about it earlier. George Karl said Irvin Johnson was the MVP of the series against the Hornets. Here's Snow on the run. Snow going all the way and then hands it to Jones. What a play by Eric Snow.
There's the difference of Eric Snow running the fast break and Allen Iverson, who's more looking for shots than he is trying to set someone else up for a high percentage shot. Not that Iverson can't do it, but that's not the thing that he looks for first.
Allen not able to hit as Iverson went down. Here comes Snow again. And keep in mind, Snow is playing hurt. Both ankles still sore. He's been injury hit throughout the season. Hill sets the pick. Shot clock at 5. Hill, yes. Beautiful move by Tyrone Hill. The Sixers with their biggest lead of the night. They're up by 13. Robinson, he's been way off.
Well, it's been a series of missed or hurried shots in Milwaukee, and it seems like Philly capitalizes on each opportunity.
Allen Iverson in a dramatic turn did not score in the first quarter. 0 for 9. He's come roaring back with 15 points in the second quarter, and George Karl wants to talk it over.
Each time Milwaukee would miss a shot, it seemed like Philly would just gain a little more confidence in coming right back at them. They knew they had their transition opportunities. Allen Iverson runs right up the back of Irvin Johnson. It's almost as if Johnson was clearing the way for Iverson. Iverson followed right behind him. And then Tyrone, after showing ball, trying to get the 17-foot jumper, just goes around into the lane area and then up over the top with the jump hook of Tim Thomas for 2.
Allen Iverson, who was banged up, hurt his tailbone in that collision on Sunday, playing with a sore hip. 0 for 9 in the first quarter, 7 for 10 in the second quarter. And the 76ers on a tear have a 15-point lead.
Remember, Iverson missed his first 11 shots. So that means he's 7 for 8 since that time.
Robinson, Mutombo. Rebound number 9 for Dikembe Mutombo.
Battle of the boards. That's something Milwaukee knows night in and night out. They must do better on the glass. They're down 31-20 right now on the rebound stat.
Iverson ran into Williams, and a blocking foul charged to Scott Williams. That's his third. The Bucks are over the foul limit. Allen Iverson firing away, has 19 shot attempts. His career high, 40 in a single game, which he equaled this year. 39 is his playoff career high. Right here, let's take a look at the Emmy Award-winning drama that's coming to TNT.
Coming this June, get caught up in the Emmy Award-winning drama, Law and Order, Tuesdays at 8 on TNT.
Allen Iverson with all 16 points, all of his 16 points in the second quarter, and the Sixers lead by 16. 20 seconds remaining in the half. 5-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, and Ray Allen lost it. A very shaky first half for the Bucks.
You can see Allen Iverson seems to be trying to take that right hand the way of Ray Allen, trying to force him to put the ball back down with his left hand.
Standing ovation for Dikembe Mutombo as he sits down with 16 seconds remaining in the half. And Dikembe has to feel very good. You recall after the trade they go 8 and 10. A lot of criticism for the trade of Theo Ratliff and Tony Kukoc to the Atlanta Hawks.
High pick and roll. They'll probably switch this thing and let Thomas play Iverson.
McKee with the step. And that is the end of the first half. The Sixers conclude the half on a 10-0 run. Allen Iverson with 16 points all in the second quarter. Dikembe Mutombo with a terrific all-around half. 9 points, 9 rebounds. Let's go to Craig with Dikembe.
And with those 9 points and 9 rebounds, also 4 blocks. George Karl said he's never been worried about you defensively. You think you sent a message in that first half?
And 0 for his first 9, 7 for his last 10. I'm just trying to bring it all into
figure this out. It was the bank shot by
Allen.
Allen,
and then it turned.
Then the Sixers turn. How about this guy right here having a little bit something to do with it? struggling, missing his first 9 shots of the game. He was rushing him. He was taking off-balance shots. You can see a little bit more under control, and then it helps to get a couple easy shots along the way, get that confidence going, and this is a guy who can string them out for you, put points on the board quickly. He's taken 19 field goal attempts at the half.
I just wanted to bring some symmetry to what has taken place here in the first half. The high point man, Iverson, with all 16 of his points in the second quarter. McKee had 12. Mutombo with a sensational first half, 9 points, 9 rebounds, 4 block shots. Ray Allen, the high man for the Bucks, with 14. Sam Cassell with 11. And Glenn Robinson just 1 for 10 from the field in the first half. Now has 4 points.
Heading into this round, you thought that the big advantage from Milwaukee was the bench, the depth that they had compared to Philadelphia, as Aaron McKee hits one from downtown. Philadelphia, due to the injuries that they had, guys that are out, they were, hurting to score points off the bench. Well, at halftime, Philly actually up bench points 4-3 against Milwaukee.
McKee is now 6 of 8. He has 14 points. Allen. And Mutombo in double figures in the rebounding department. Sixers with the ball, up by 16 in this opening minute of the third. Jones being tempted to shoot the ball by Williams. Here's Cassell. Sam Cassell has 13 points.
It's almost like by design, each one of the big 3 from Milwaukee has come down now to start the second half and taking an early shot to see if they can get it going.
The last time the 76ers and the Bucks met in the playoffs is Tyrone Hill misfires. Back in 1991, here's Allen. And it will be Sixer ball. That was a first-round series won by the Sixers in a 3-game sweep. Charles Barkley, a member of the 76ers back in 91. During the regular season, they split the 4-game series. Mutombo. And last touch by the Sixers. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv Allen Iverson very sore at halftime. In fact, that gel pad we talked about before the game, he discarded it. He fell about 5 times on his rear. Coach Brown said he'd like to give him a rest, but he was told by the training staff if he comes out of the game, he'll get too stiff. So they're going to let him stay on the court and continue to play. All right, Mike.
All right, thanks, Craig. Here's Allen, and he draws the foul. Ray Allen, during the regular season, had a career-high 42-point game against the 76ers in late February. Also had his nose smashed and broken by Dikembe Mutombo in that same game that he scored 42 points. Jones called for the foul. Ray Allen opened up 6 for 8 from the field. He has missed his last 5 shots. Well, coming to TNT June the 27th. It is the NBA draft coverage beginning 7 o'clock Eastern time with the draft preview show. June 27th.
Go back to the Dikembe elbows that you mentioned. I mean, here's a very simple philosophy. If you don't like the elbow, don't come around here. It's as simple.
Is that a Dikembe impersonation?
Impersonation, yes. That's very good. I do that.
Which dialect is that?
A number of NBA players.
Yeah, that's very good. Sam Cassell drills it. And it's suddenly a 10-point game. And now the crowd trying to urge on the 76ers. Back comes Cassell. 8-2 run for the Bucks here at the start of the third. McKee with a good play to strip Cassell. Iverson. And a technical foul has been called on Sam Cassell. He thought he was fouled on that strip.
Well, Joe Crawford was going to let the play continue at the other end of the floor. Then he stopped play by blowing the whistle and then administered the foul to Sam Cassell.
Allen Iverson will shoot the tee. Sam Cassell was ushered aside by his teammate, Scott Williams.
Let's take a look back at what Sam Cassell was arguing about. As he goes up, watch McKee reach in and the strip across the forearm there on the right wrist is what Cassell is upset about. You see Joe Crawford in the screen. Sam stays and argues as Allen Iverson's taking off at the other end of the floor for the basket.
And that turns into a three-point play for the 76ers, who lead by 13. Nice pass from Allen. Robinson for three. Another opportunity for the Bucks. McKee with the steal. Jones. Robinson out of control. Robinson now 2 for 13. Iverson for three. Yes. And the Bucks want a timeout. Allen Iverson 0 for his first 9. Did not score in the first quarter. He now has 22 points. He's 9 for 13 after missing his first 9 shots. Let's take a look at Wimbledon. It all returns this June here on TNT.
The drama of Wimbledon returns to TNT. Don't miss 2 weeks of daytime coverage of the best tennis in the world beginning June 25th.
4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Sixers back up to the 16-point lead. Let's check in with Cheryl Miller.
Marvin, Mike, out of that last timeout, Coach Call urging his players to say, look, don't let the frustration set in. Regardless if it's no calls, bad calls, or missed shots, you've got to keep your composure. We'll get back into this game one possession at a time.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Glenn Robinson now 2 for 14 from the field. Matt Geiger, who played well in a 7-minute stint in the first half, back on the floor. Sam Cassell called for his second foul. So Larry Brown going with a big lineup. Mutombo, Geiger, and then Jermaine Jones as the other forward with Aaron McKee and Allen Iverson. Here's Jones. He's been off 3 for 10 from the field. And a loose ball foul on Cassell. Cassell bumping McKee. That's his third foul.
Sam trying to hold off McKee from the backside, gets a little bit of the trunks down below, and that's where the foul is called. As the ball happened to take a long bounce over the top of Cassell's head.
Williams comes over to help out. And Geiger. Rebound to Kemby Mutombo, and then he lost it. Reach and foul on Jones.
Well, Geiger could be a huge plus to this Philadelphia team because he has the ability to step out 17, 18 feet, whether it's on the baseline or up at the top of the circle area, and hit that jump shot facing up. So it gives him one more option offensively if he can stick those.
And for Matt Geiger, his first action after missing 6 straight games in the series against Toronto because of that right quadricep tendonitis. And he's done a nice job here tonight. Allen on a reversal. Johnson, Irvin Johnson. So the 76ers have a 59-45 lead. Greg Sager was telling us Larry Brown said to him at halftime, this was the best half of the season as a Sixer for the Kemby Mutombo, who was just brilliant in that first half. Little fake by Robinson, and then hits from downtown.
You've got Jermaine Jones who step back, give him a little bit of room, and he gathered himself, got his legs underneath, and then knocks down a big three.
76ers lead by 11, and we approach 6 minutes remaining in the third. Mutombo. Rejected by Williams. Scott Williams came over for the block. Robinson with a nice touch pass. Ray Allen on the break. Crowd looking for a technical foul, but Ray Allen was holding onto the rim in order to maintain his balance. And it's now a 9-point game, and Larry Brown is not happy. The 76ers take a timeout. 5:42 remaining in the third. 7 unanswered by the Bucks over the last minute. And that Sixer lead, 116, has evaporated. Welcome back to the First Union Center, Philadelphia. The 76ers leading by as many as 16, now up by 9. See, Philadelphia only 3 of 13 from the field in this third quarter. Iverson is 2 out of 4. The rest of the team just 1 for 9. And since that scoreless first quarter, Allen Iverson with 22 of the 76ers' last 40 points.
During the regular season, Philadelphia is just a 44% shooting team. They shot 47 in the first half, so here they come back down to the norm for them.
Scott Williams changed his mind, met by Matt Geiger. Here's Ray Allen. Yes, what a tremendous shooter. He now has 20 points, and the Bucks are within 7.
When you talked about Williams turning down the jumper, he got by Geiger. The next person waiting for him, Mutombo. That's when he turned and said, "You give it to Ray outside."
Iverson. Geiger able to keep it alive. Offensive foul. It's a charge on Iverson as Williams took the hit.
Allen trying to get off this little slide that Philly's going through right now. Thinks maybe he can pick up the contact, get to the foul line for a couple of free throws to get him some points. Instead, he's called for the offensive foul.
Second personal on Iverson. Tim Thomas back on the floor. Up front now with Irvin Johnson and Scott Williams. Sam Cassell, Ray Allen in the backcourt. Here's Allen with time for 3. No one in sight in a Sixer uniform. A wide open 3, and the Bucks are within 4. 4.5 remaining in the third. 12 unanswered. Scored by Milwaukee in the last 3.5 minutes. The Sixers in the midst of a drought. Iverson. Yes. Beautiful move. He was able to turn Ray Allen. And the Sixers lead 61-55. Good play by Geiger. Hustled back by Cassell. Crowd looking for the traveling violation. Shot clock at 7. Cassell, yes. And the Milwaukee Bucks are now on fire here in the third. Cassell has 17.
Yeah, right now the two guys, Cassell and Allen, are making shots. Robinson's gotten involved a little bit differently before he went to the bench on the timeout. He started things off by making a nice assist, which sometimes gets somebody else going.
Eric Snow off the fake. Dikembe Mutombo, yes, and it counts.
It's almost as if Eric Snow just throws this up on the glass because he knows that Irvin Johnson has stepped up to stop his penetration. Therefore, nobody's underneath to block out Mutombo. The second chance opportunity.
Foul on Johnson. His third, 3 apiece on Johnson, Williams, and Cassell. Dikembe, 11 points, 13 rebounds, 5 on the offensive glass. 3-point play for Mutombo, and the Sixers lead 64-57. Game 1 of the best of 7 Eastern Conference final series. Foul is called on Snow. That's his second. The 76ers making their first appearance in the conference final since back in 1985. The number 1 seed in the East for the first time since 82-83. That's the last time the 76ers won a championship. And a foul. Iverson coming from behind picks up his third. The Bucks' last appearance in the conference final, 1986. The Milwaukee Bucks of Sidney Moncrief and Terry Cummings. Ray Allen at the time was 10 years old. Bucks losing to the Boston Celtics. And in '85, the Sixers in the conference final lost to the Celtics. Thomas with the pull-up. Yes, and the foul. Aaron McKee on a reach-in, and Tim Thomas will go to the line, looking to cut it to a 4-point Sixer lead.
Tim Thomas at 6'10", 230 pounds, has the ability to put it on the floor against the two-guard, Aaron McKee, and then pull up, get a clean look at the basket, the ability to take the ball where you want to on the floor and create a shot for yourself, something special Tim Thomas does very well.
3 minutes remaining in this third quarter. This is the closest the Bucks have been since back early second quarter. McKee being guarded by Thomas. And he forced the shot but drew the foul. Foul on Tim Thomas. Well, that's the second on Thomas, who has about 5 inches on McKee. And the 4th team foul on Milwaukee.
It was really a bad foul because McKee had nowhere to go with the shot, and he was trying to get Allen Iverson to stay in the spot up in the corner so he had space to operate.
Well, beginning on July the 5th, TNT and NBC are your exclusive network for 20 weeks of NASCAR and the race for the championship. For complete schedule information, log on to NASCAR.com. AOL keyword NASCAR. Sixers up by 6 points. But the Bucks have turned it here in the third quarter after trailing by as many as 16. A rare miss for Allen. And the foul is called as Mutombo got submarine. Puts the Bucks over the limit. Both teams now over the foul limit. Scott Williams collects his 4th. And Dikembe Mutombo will go to the line. It's 2 out of 3 from the foul line. Dikembe is playing with a broken left pinky. The injury suffered last week in the series against the Raptors. Comes off a 10-point, 17-rebound game in Game 7 on Sunday. Here's Lindsey Hunter checking back in. Lindsey just cannot get started. Did not shoot well in the previous series against the Charlotte Hornets. And had his difficulties in that opening round series against Orlando. The Bucks taking the Magic 3 games to 1.
Well, he was picked up by Milwaukee with the idea in mind. Nights when Sam Cassell might be struggling, Hunter has the ability to come in, score points. Then he's a very, very good defender. Picks up a number of steals with his quick hands.
Nice pass by Scott Williams to set it up for Irvin Johnson, who was fouled. And a foul called on Hill. That's his second. Irvin Johnson did not begin the playoffs as a starter. Most of the year he was coming off the bench. We talked about this during the Charlotte series. He's that rare player who prefers coming off the bench.
Then George Karl just, had to sit with him and make him realize that the team was not getting off to the kinds of starts that they wanted to. They needed his presence out there, particularly because Charlotte was going inside to Eldon Campbell to start every game. Now, he didn't want Campbell to get off and gain more confidence, so he figured starting Irvin Johnson would slow down Campbell, which it did.
They were going with cosmetic starters at center. Scott Williams to start at center, then move over to go Mark Pope. That time, Iverson with a beautiful fadeaway jumper to give the 76ers a 70-62 lead. Just under 2 to go in this third quarter. Iverson now has 26 points. Jason Caffey back down the floor. Not a good pass. Eric Snow able to save that errant pass. Now Iverson working against Hunter. Gets the pick from Hill. There's Hill blocked by Johnson.
Nowhere to go. Poor shot attempt. Tyrone Hill didn't need that one. Get it back out.
Hunter for three. And the outside official, Terry Durham, calling the loose ball on Tyrone Hill.
It's one of those times where you know that maybe you make a mistake at the offensive end, you take a bad shot, you have a bad turnover, and then you try and come back and make a hustle play at the other end of the floor. A little too aggressive, Hill gets caught in the foul.
Johnson now 3 for 5 at the line. Only 58% foul shooter during the regular season. In his 8th year out of New Orleans. Played for Tim Floyd at New Orleans, now coach of the Chicago Bulls. You mentioned at the start, George Karl had him in Seattle, and things were not that smooth in Seattle. But yet he traded for Irvin Johnson. Now he's one of his favorite players.
Well, Irvin Johnson mentioned that they sat, talked things out, talked about their differences, and both, I think, realized the value of each other.
Here's Thomas protecting against McKee. Final minute, third quarter. Hill jumps out on the split. Campy. Now the Sixers look to run. Snow threw it away. Deflected. And Ray Allen now in deliberate fashion sets up.
Eric Snow thought McKee was going to float down to the corner as he penetrated. McKee has a comfortable spot over there. Now foul line extended a little bit higher than that he's already hit a couple threes from in this game.
6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Hunter, did he get it off in time? No. A 24-second violation.
That's what Philadelphia relies on. It's defense to keep the game where it is, not let opponents get back within reach. That time they get the big 24-second violation, and we'll get the last possession here.
6 and 4/10 seconds remaining in the third. Rodney Buford coming on for Dikembe Mutombo. Jermaine Jones back on the floor. And now Darvin Ham will come on for the first time for the Bucks. Darvin Ham, a scrappy, hustling player.
Milwaukee almost with 6 players on the floor there.
Well, we saw the Charlotte Hornets with 4 players in the previous games. Against Milwaukee when Derek Coleman walked off. Here's Iverson firing. So that's the end of the third quarter. The Philadelphia 76ers have led by as many as 16. It's now a 7-point game. 3 quarters complete here at First Union Center in Philadelphia. Game 1 of the best of 7. And the Sixers with a 70-63 lead on the Bucks. Fast break.
Well, you can tell Milwaukee has moved it up a notch now, down 16 at the half. Suddenly a fast break points, field goal percentage, and rebounds all relatively even, but points in the paint. Philadelphia getting to the basketball, getting those second shot opportunities, doubled Milwaukee's 18 points.
Well, after shooting 31% from the field in the first half, Bucks 10 of 20, 50% shooting in the third quarter. Sixers have led by as many as 16, lead now by 7. Snow, yes. The Bucks have come within 4. It's now back to a 9-point Philadelphia lead. Allen and Hunter at the guards. Robinson is back up front with Campy and Thomas. And Robinson got a poor shooting game. Now has 9 points, just 4 for 16 from the field.
They come out of the timeout. They set up a play, run up for Glenn Robinson, hope that they can get him going here in the fourth quarter.
Iverson and Snow in the backcourt. Mutombo up front with Hill and Jones. Shot clock at 5. 1 on the 24. And Jones, who has not shot well, able to hit. Jermaine Jones, who had a 16-point game against the Raptors on Sunday, 4 of 11, 8 points. He's given Philadelphia a 9-point lead. Robinson had it knocked away by Jones. Robinson able to deflect it off Jones, but Robinson was already out of bounds, so the ball back to the Sixers.
It looked like the ball bounced off of Jones and then hit Robinson again. He's trying to save it, wants to throw it off Jones. It hits, but then it hits Robinson again. Out of bounds, off Glenn Robinson.
The old schoolyard play did not work. Backfired on Big Dog. Sam Cassell adjusting the flak jacket, checking back in. Iverson. Thomas with the rebound. Robinson. And Tyrone Hill able to hold it down. 10 rebounds for Hill. Fourth quarter just underway. Marv Albert with the czar, Mike Fratello, along with Craig Sager, Cheryl Miller. Iverson with the handoff, and Hill is 1 and 2 by Cassell.
If the Sixers big men can just find the opening, Iverson draws at least a double team on every possession when he puts it on the floor. There's Glenn Robinson, the first defender. Here comes the second defender over Thomas, and now Hill just steps inside, gets his hands ready to catch the pass, then he has to try and finish.
And the correction on the foul, it's Thomas, not Cassell. Thomas got him first. So Tyrone Hill at the line. He's 0 for 1 from the line. Reminder, Thursday night here on TNT. It's the Bucks and Sixers, game 2 of this Eastern Conference Final. And coverage begins 8 o'clock Eastern Time with the pregame. And the guys will be here at the First Union Center. Ernie, Kenny, and Charles. Put the show on the road starting last night in San Antonio. And they'll be on hand following tonight's game on Inside the NBA. Cassell could not find the shot. Robinson does. Good recovery by Sam Cassell rather than force the issue.
Yeah, he kept fighting it. He was trying to draw the foul, trying to get his defenders up in the air. He stayed with it. No foul. He finds his teammate. Big basket there.
76ers lead 75-67. Mutombo now operating against Caffey. They want the mismatch. Caffey called for the foul. Aggressive play by Jason Caffey.
Well, that's how Milwaukee tries to do it, by committee. Whether it's Caffey in there, whether it's Irvin Johnson or Scott Williams, they have enough fouls to give up. Trying to keep Mutombo from posting too deep, trying to root him out of there. Call for the foul.
Tyrone Hill gets a breather, replaced by Aaron McKee. And a foul is called once again. It's Jason Caffey, who's been a physical force for the Bucks. Originally a first-round draft pick of the Chicago Bulls back in 1995, a member of a couple of championship teams in Chicago. Iverson, yes. Allen Iverson with 28 points. And the Sixers lead 77-67.
Well, Mutombo's listed at 7'2". Caffey's listed at 6'8". So Milwaukee going very small right now. Mutombo with a decided advantage.
And the outside official, Joe Crawford, with the call. It's on McKee. That's his fourth. Timeout taken. 8:47 remaining on the fourth.
TNT.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. 10-point lead for the 76ers as we check out tonight's American Express leaderboard. The all-time leader in playoff competition, talking career now, Michael Jordan at 33.4 per game. Allen Iverson now on the number 2 spot, moving in front of Jerry West. Pretty good company. Shaquille O'Neal, Elgin Baylor in the top 5 for this series. Iverson averaging just under, should say for this postseason, just under 33 per game. He's had games of 45, 54, and 52. Although you got to be wondering in the first quarter. Remember, he was scoreless the last 6 minutes of Game 7. Then he goes 0 for 9 in the first quarter, but turned it with a 16-point second quarter. Now has 28 for the night. Cassell. And Matumbo able to tip it to Iverson.
You just have to always be worried when you have your back turned to the basket down there that when you do eventually face up, you're going to see Matumbo coming from somewhere to try and challenge your shot. It has to affect you.
It has been a magnificent all-around performance by Dikembe Mutombo. Aaron McKee. That's 18 for McKee, who averaged 18 per game in the regular season in the 4 meetings with the Bucks. George Karl calling for time. 8:10 remaining in the fourth. Aaron McKee, red hot, 7 for 10 from the field.
Philadelphia trying to get a shot for Allen Iverson. They set a double screen up on top. Top man is Aaron McKee right here setting the screen. Lindsey Hunter is supposed to tell Glenn Robinson that he wants Robinson to switch out. And then Hunter is supposed to come up through the middle and take Aaron McKee. What happens is, as Iverson goes, you'll see 2 defenders wind up on Iverson. Watch McKee run across the floor to the open spot. 2 guys on Iverson without the ball. No one on McKee with the ball. The open jumper and timeout by George Karl to straighten that one out.
Oh. He is the czar of the telestrating. And that this is our final telecast. TNT has one more telecast. Game 2 of this series on Thursday. And Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown will bring that one to you. Oh, what a move by Ray Allen and the foul. So Allen will head to the line.
And as Allen elevates, you'll see the forearm of Iverson just shove him right there, knocks him off balance. The concentration and the ability to make a shot when you're moving from right to left in the air, maybe 3 or 4 feet across the floor.
That's 4 on Iverson. 3-point play for Allen, and the Sixers now lead by 9. What I was getting to over the summer months now, do you like work on the telestrator to keep sharp? To stay with it?
Like everyone else, the off-season is a time you can do your most improvement.
Right.
The time for conditioning, the time for picking up little pointers here and there.
Good lesson for you kids out there who have telestrators at home.
All future czars.
Yes. Oh, man, what a thought that is. 7.5 remaining in the fourth. Cassell had difficulty finding someone and close to the 5-second count. Allen setting up against Iverson. Caffey. Rebounded by Mutombo. Run into by Allen. Dikembe Mutombo with rebound number 15.
I'm sure Ray Allen started to think about that elbow in his nose once again right about that point when he was going to crash into Mutombo.
Yes, as we mentioned earlier, Ray Allen taking one of those inadvertent elbows from Dikembe Mutombo during the regular season. That's the game that saw Ray hit for 42 points against the Sixers. Iverson. 5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Robinson getting excellent position on the mismatch with McKee.
And he knew he could get it off before Dikembe could get back from the foul line area. So he quick turn to the baseline, shot it over the top of the small defender.
Here's McKee. So the Bucks put the ball down by only 7. They trailed by as many as 16. Cassell. Snow with instructions for his teammates. McKee. Oh, he's intent on shooting over Robinson. 20 points for Aaron McKee. What a playoff run it's been for McKee. 8 for 12 tonight. The 76ers up by 9. Robinson found the touch. here in the fourth quarter. Now has 15, 8 of the 15 in the fourth.
To go back to the beginning of the game, we said George Karl would like to play an 85-shot game. He would like to have 85 field goal attempts at the basket. That was number 70 that Glenn Robinson just took. You can see Philadelphia's defense digging in, stopping him.
Mutombo. 5.5 remaining on the fourth. Cassell. Snow is trying to draw the foul. Robinson with the screen. Cassell picked up on the switch by McKee. Eric Snow, the settling influence on the Sixer team. There's Hill setting the pick. Shot clock out of 5. Iverson eluding Thomas. Now Robinson has a 3-on-1. Thomas is fouled. Hacked by Snow.
A good foul that time by Snow. He didn't want to give up the easy layup to Thomas. He was going to put him on the foul line for 2 free throw attempts.
That's 3 on Snow. Thomas hitting his previous free throw attempt. From Thomas last season with Milwaukee, had a breakout year. Terrific playoff run. Set personal highs in virtually every statistical category. Another solid season for Tim Thomas this year. Let's take a look at the Emmy Award-winning drama that is coming to TNT.
Coming this June, get caught up in the Emmy Award-winning drama, Law and Order, Tuesdays at 8 on TNT.
'81, 75, 76ers with the lead, just under 5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Terry Durham indicating the foul on Cassell. That is his 4th. And for the Bucks, their 15th foul.
Well, Sam's already picked up 1 technical foul, so right now he needs to be quiet so he can stick around the game. And the foul is called right there as he's trying to fight McKee from popping out and catching it. Sam took that right arm, wrapped it around, tried to stop McKee from getting out to the wing to receive the first pass.
McKee with 21 points, 8 for 12 from the field. Also, as you see, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. The 76ers have an 8-point lead. Robinson. Snow got a piece of it. Iverson ends up with the ball. Good double team leading to the steal.
Good decision by Snow to back it out. He wants to make sure they get a good shot at the basket this time down the floor.
And a timeout called by the 76ers. Philadelphia up by 8. We'll be back in a moment. '76ers have an 8-point lead on the Bucks over the last 5 minutes. The only Sixer to score, Aaron McKee, who has scored all six Philadelphia points. He has 22 for the game, and as usual, Aaron McKee coming up very big down the stretch.
Aaron McKee does it in a very smooth style, not a driver slasher. He uses his strength and ability to get good body position. And then when he gets to an open spot, he knows that that's his chance to score. He concentrates and knocks down those open spot-up jump shots as well as anyone now.
A chant of "Beat the Bucks" here in Philadelphia with 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Here's McKee. Kept alive by Hill. They get the new 24. The 76ers have led by as many as 16. The Bucks did get it down to a 4-point differential. Iverson. And the ball over the top of the backboard, so Milwaukee will take over. You go back to the two previous series. The 76ers do not want to allow the Bucks to steal one here at home. Philadelphia losing game 1 against the Indiana Pacers, losing game 1 against the Toronto Raptors. And then had to reclaim home court advantage. Thomas had a good look. And the Bucks are within 6.
Milwaukee on the road knows that if you hang around, give yourself a chance in the last 2 or 3 minutes of a game, that there's your opportunity to take advantage of it. Now you've got to get defensive stops, not make mistakes, don't put the opponent on the foul line, execute your offense.
Eric Snow. A solid game for Snow, 6 points, 6 assists. He's been a steadying influence. Larry Brown loves to have Snow on the floor running the team. Allen able to penetrate. Johnson. Shot clock still alive. Allen for 3. The smooth stroke of Ray Allen, who has 29 points, bringing the Bucks within 5.
Allen turned the corner on Iverson. Mutombo left to come over to change the shot. Mutombo's man gets on the offensive boards, kicks it back out to Allen again. In the corner, shot.
Shot clock at 3, 2, 1, Snow. Johnson with the rebound. We are down to 2 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter. Cassell through the foul. He saw Hill coming towards him. Smart play by Sam Cassell.
That's one of those fouls that we just talked about that you don't want to commit. You've got to play smart basketball. Milwaukee gets a chance now to put points on the board with the shot clock stopped. He sees the big man coming at him, raises up, gets Hill to leave his feet, and he'll shoot 2.
Now it's 3. He was beyond the 3-point line. Yes. Makes it even a worse foul committed by Tyrone Hill. 3 shots for Cassell. So the Bucks, good move within 2 points.
Take a look, see if Sam's behind that line. He's on that line.
Yes, I thought I was correct on that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
However, the officials called it the other way.
They didn't look over at us or ask us for any help, so.
I would have said 3. Good eyes, dog. Very nice. It's a 2-point game. Iverson, and he draws the foul. So the Bucks have come back from a 16-point deficit. Foul charge to Ray Allen. That's his 4th. Allen Iverson, 2 of 3 at the line. The Sixers 11 for 16 at the line. Iverson has cooled down in the 4th quarter, just 1 for 7. 76ers lead by 3, 1:48 remaining in the 4th. This one appeared to be on the verge of a blowout. Instead, it has become an adventure. A foul line violation. Iverson will get another shot.
Watch Mutombo on the foul line. He's getting squeezed right here by 2 people on that side of the floor. Whenever there's a great offensive rebound, the teams will double team him on the block out. One of them stepped in too early. Sixers get another opportunity.
Allen Iverson taking advantage of the do-over. Sixers up by 4. And they're on their feet here at First Union Center. Robinson working on McKee. Robinson not able to hit. Mutombo with the rebound. 17 rebounds for Dikembe Mutombo. A minute 20 remaining in the fourth. Critical possession here. Iverson. Yes! From downtown. The Bucks will talk it over. The Philadelphia 76ers extend to a 7-point lead. We'll be back in a moment. A moment ago, Allen Iverson with a huge three-pointer to give the 76ers a 90-83 lead with a minute 10 left in this fourth quarter. That's assistant coach Herb Brown, Larry's brother, chatting with Allen. Coming up next on Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. There's another production meeting taking place right before our eyes. The guys getting ready. Charles, Kenny, Ernie, they'll have highlights, live post-game reaction from our game, and a report from the Western Conference Final.
A much more formal meeting, though. Everybody had their jackets on for this one.
Tim Thomas will throw in from center court. Bucks looking for a quick shot. Allen can't find it. Now does. And hits. Ray Allen with 31 points. 90-85. Sixers with the ball and the lead. Just under 1 minute remaining in the fourth.
They've been giving Iverson the complete side of the floor in isolation. Ray Allen has tried to force him left to the middle.
Shot clock to 5. McKee went to the left hand. Mutombo hustles it down and is fouled by Robinson. Foul on Robinson, his first, and Dikembe Mutombo will go to the line. He's 4 for 5 from the line.
Aaron McKee's not really a one-on-one creative type of player. What happened is he wound up with the ball on the isolated side of the floor with just 5 seconds remaining on the 24-second clock. So he did the thing that he has to do, get a shot up on the rim, give your team a chance. If it doesn't go in to get an offensive rebound, that's the man who got it right there.
The numbers on Mutombo: 14 points, 18 rebounds, 4 block shots. Scott Williams back on the floor, so Williams up front with Robinson and Johnson, Cassell, and Allen in the backcourt. The Bucks have 1 timeout remaining. Sixers now lead 91-85, and George Karl will take that timeout with 36 and 5/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. We'll be back to the city of brotherly love in a moment. 6-point lead for the Sixers. You see 36.5 remaining. The Bucks do have a 20-second timeout remaining. Philadelphia with 2 and a 20. What does George Karl do now? What's his approach?
Remember, they are a very good three-point shooting team. They're down 6 points right now. They're going to get their second possession here after this one. George Karl right now telling them to look for the open 3 if they've got it. If not, take your quick 2. Then they'll talk their defensive strategy, whether to foul or not in the game. They're a 37% three-point shooting team, 5th best in the NBA. The best three-point shooters: Allen, Hunter, and Thomas.
Tyrone Hill guarding on the inbounds, trying to get your attention. What's going on here?
He wanted to know exactly where he should stand. Should he be to the inside, to the outside? Should he pressure the ball?
I think you're correct. And now Hill being called over by Larry Brown.
Penalized for talking to.
See that?
Yes.
The sports does never talk to the color commentator. He was just saying to the other side. He's gone, as Iverson now will defend on the inbound. Kevin Ollie has checked in for the first time. Robinson lost it. Allen with the recovery. Rebounded by McKee, and he's fouled by Cassell. With the Bucks over the foul limit, the Sixers headed to the line with 29 seconds to go and a 6-point lead.
Robinson trying to turn the corner and take the quick two. Right here is where he thinks he's fouled on the reach in and the slap by Eric Snow. He turns to the official, but it's too late. By that time, Ray Allen is going up with the second shot opportunity.
I just don't get that. Tyrone Hill comes over, defending against the inbounds pass, starts a conversation with you, and he's taken out of the game by Larry Brown.
And Larry's got certain rules you have to abide by. No talking.
Yeah, very upset. Kevin Ollie came on for Tyrone Hill.
We saw an unusual substitution in the Charlotte series. Elvin Campbell's headband was crooked. Remember, he was penalized right out of the game. None of that nonsense. Crooked headband, you're gone.
So McKee hits 1 of 2. And now Milwaukee takes its 20, so this is their final timeout. The Sixers lead at 92-85. George Karl trying to get the attention of his club, was yelling at Glenn Robinson to come on over.
Well, Glenn was having a conversation with the official, still probably about the call at the other end. George was trying to make him aware of the fact that we only have X number of seconds in this huddle here. Hurry up over here because we've got to execute the play correctly that they were trying to do last time.
Robinson is still involved with a call at the other end moments ago. So again, Thomas will throw in. Oh, that's a backcourt violation. Tim Thomas with a circle route took the pass right in the backcourt.
He still had not established his front court position when he touched the basketball.
So the ball back to the 76ers with 27 and 8/10 seconds remaining. Buchanan inbound into the back. Oh, Iverson inadvertently took a shot. Oh, flagrant foul call. Terry Durham calling a flagrant foul. So 2 shots and possession. Sam Cassell apologized to Iverson. He can't believe that it was a flagrant foul. He's claiming that it was accidental, but it was a hard hit.
Well, I think we should go back and take a look at it, don't you, after his first shot?
Oh, directing now is off. Calling for the shot.
Cassell coming over to foul immediately, and I mean, I'd have to agree with Sam on that. I don't think that's a flagrant foul. He's trying to take a foul. He's trying to take a hard enough foul so that the officials do make the call, but to call it a flagrant, I would have to disagree.
Sam very apologetic immediately. Sam Cassell fouled out, leads with 20 points, replaced by Rafer Alston, the second-year man from Fresno State. Sixers now lead 93-85. What Allen Iverson needs a shot over the right eye.
Well, it was one area that was not damaged or bruised on his body.
And the Sixers just working the clock down, and now hearing it from this capacity crowd as they take game 1 of the best of 7. There's a 1-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, so they'll take the shot. No, they won't. Look like, no, there's a 24-second violation. Looked like Jones would shoot it. So 1 and 2/10 seconds remaining. And the story tonight for the Philadelphia 76ers, easily the best game of the season as a Sixer for Dikembe Mutombo. 15 points, 18 rebounds, and 4 block shots. Allen Iverson, after the 0 for 9 start, finished with 34 points. Aaron McKee, another excellent game against the Bucks. Big fourth quarter, he finished with 23. Ray Allen leading the way with a career playoff high of 31 for Milwaukee. Sam Cassell had 20. Glenn Robinson did not shoot well, 7 for 22 for 15 points. Let's go to Craig Sager.
One with Aaron McKee. Obviously, Allen Iverson just went into the locker room, said he was dizzy, got hit pretty hard in the head. He starts out 0 for 11. You guys are tied at the game. You come in with 23 points. What do you do when he keeps shooting like that and missing?
It's a team game, you know. Allen's going to have nights when he come out and he's missing, but that's his game. You know, he can miss 10 and then he can make the next 10. So, you know, we want him to stay aggressive because that's why he's MVP of this league.
They have such firepower, yet they're shooting only 31% at the half. Talk about your defense and the presence of Dikembe in the middle, what that does for you.
Well, I think we can match up well with them when they go with the small lineup. We just want to try to make it tough for them by, you know, keeping the man, keeping the body in front of them, getting the hand up, and making them make shots, you know, with a hand in their face. And, you know, those guys are going to make shots, but the thing is, we don't want to give them second shots.
Every team has scouting reports. Every team prepares. Your coach, Larry Brown, is as good as there is in the business. I watched you before the game, studying, looking at the screen, watching Milwaukee take on Charlotte. What were you looking for, and what did you see?
Well, I just like to watch film before games. I think you can definitely get some kind of knowledge of what a team likes to do and when they like to do it and what plays they run out of timeouts and stuff like that. So, you know, that's how I go about preparing for games.
Great game tonight. Let's go back to Mike and Meyer.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. A very impressive performance by the Philadelphia 76ers. We were talking at the start. Both teams, both Milwaukee and Philadelphia,